Biden spent 4 years calling Trump a dictator and a threat to democracy. Now he's like, I'd rather not comment. Was the whole thing just a hoax? It was, wasn't it? They were just telling Biden what to say and he was saying it? Did he forget what he's been saying this whole time? Or maybe he just doesn't want Trump shot again. Good. Hopefully Joe tells the media because they're still saying Trump's Mussolini.
For as heartened as I am about the American people literally protesting every single day against what Trump and the Republicans are doing, and so much more resistance than anybody told us to expect, I think it's also true that the people who warned us about how bad this was going to be, the people who were really hysterical, like really the doomsayers, they were all right about how bad this is. And what we're experiencing is not just somebody who's fighting against the Democratic Party, he's fighting against the democratic process. And that's what you do when you don't ever want to have an election because you want to stay in power for life. And that is what they're trying. All the worst predictions about what he'd be like are true.
Not as proud of the resistance, the Tesla terrorism, or the singing and dancing? Or the trips to El Salvador, which one? Or did she like those little signs that they held up at the State of the Union? And what's she talking about Trump staying in power for life? He just said JD and Marco would make amazing nominees. He says he's not running again. Democrats are supposed to have primary debates where Maddow is supposed to moderate. Why waste her time if Trump's never leaving? And she's basically saying she was right about Trump the whole time. She's never been right. She said Trump was arrest her. She's still doing her show. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see a little more retribution. Democrats are still waiting to get arrested. They're actually begging for it.
When can I, a former impeachment manager, expect the FBI at my door?
Ma'am, you want to know who was targeted by a weaponized FBI? Me.
Should we worry more about your memory or your veracity?
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts forward instead of lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second donation hit.
Democrats want to be right so badly, they're goading the FBI to incarcerate them. They're like, please weaponize the FBI, please. Their new gotcha question is, do you believe in the Constitution?
Who was the president in 2024?
One believes President Biden.
One believes? Are you one of those non-believers that the election, the American people didn't vote?
I am not.
You're not? You said one believes? Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States? And it should be
I believe in the Constitution of the United States.
It's actually a trick question because was Biden really president in 2024? Was it Susan Rice, Ron Klain, Jill, or the auto pen? Maxine Waters, no relation, thinks she's just found her next Watergate.
You let these strangers into our treasury with access to all of the data, all of the personnel information, and you just open the door. Why'd you do that?
No, ma'am. They were Treasury employees.
Oh, are you saying today in front of this committee that all of them were Treasury employees, that the 25-year-old who's being identified, who worked for Elon Musk, was allowed into the Treasury? Was that person there?
He was a Treasury employee. Ma'am, there is no such thing as a Doge employee. There were Treasury employees.
Maxine Waters did not have a great day.
This is the first time we've met. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. We actually met one New Year's Eve in the Bahamas. And I was...
He didn't make an impression.
Why don't I remember that?
Well, you were much better at the electric slide than I was.
Maybe I am related to Maxine. You should see my slide. When they're not dancing, they're playing games.
I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. You ready? Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to tell me whether or not it is Trump or trans people that are responsible. You understand?
Got it.
Okay, very good. The first one, gutted medical research.
Trump.
Kidnapping Americans and sending them to foreign countries, a.k.a. deporting them.
Trump.
Driving us into a recession.
Trump.
Increasing the cost of everything.
Trump.
Waging an idiotic tariff war.
Trump.
Harming farmers.
Trump.
Ignoring the Constitution. Encouraging an environment of hate and divisiveness.
Trump.
This is what Democrats are doing on your dime. Trump's not even taking him seriously. He says Schumer's transitioning.
I mean, look at Schumer. He's become a Palestinian. I think he's a Palestinian, actually. You should give him the garb. But
Well-
I can't believe that Schumer, of all the people, you look at the guy, I think he's a wreck, first of all. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but he's being beat up pretty good. Is he going to be challenged by AOC? Is he going to be challenged by somebody else? Because I think he's pretty weakened right now.
Trump actually feels sorry for these people. He thinks they have a medical condition.
Well, I win. You know, they were losing for so long. They're losers, the names you mentioned, and many others, most others. But I win, and when I win, it drives people crazy, and I win a lot. And they have a hat that was made that Trump was right about everything.
That's why Democrats are going to therapy and doing sit-ins. They're realizing for the first time the country's not on their side.
There are a lot of voters who, for whatever reason, and Democrats might be shocked by this, but for whatever reason, did not find any of the things they've seen so far about Donald Trump to be disqualifying.
What Democrats need to remember is that the things Biden did were disqualifying. He could barely talk, and he ruined the country so fast he was going to lose. So they staged a coup. Then their DEI VP got swept, and Trump comes in and shows you what real presidential power means and vision. And every time Biden shows his face, Democrats get flashbacks. Joe gives him PTSD. And it's not over. Tomorrow, Joe's going on The View. And he's bringing Jill, the shadow president. In a way, this is Biden's revenge tour. Democrats, you think you got rid of me? I'm not going anywhere.